Maybe you've noticed it. You wake up, check your phone, go to work or school, talk to people, and laugh when you're supposed to laugh. You say, "I'm fine." And then, somewhere in the middle of the day, you suddenly realize something strange. You don't actually know what you're feeling anymore. You're not exactly sad. You're not exactly happy. You're not even angry. You're just numb. And the strangest part is that you can't remember when it started. There was probably a time when you knew yourself. You knew what excited you, what hurt you, what made you angry, and what you wanted from life. But somewhere along the way, you learned to ignore yourself. You became busy. You became distracted. You became good at saying, "It doesn't matter." Someone disappointed you, and you moved on. Something hurt you, and you buried it. You were exhausted, but you pushed through. You needed help, but you stayed quiet. And every time you ignored what you felt, you became a little less connected to yourself. Until eventually, you stopped asking, "How do I feel?" and started asking only, "What do I need to do?" Think about how often you experience an emotion and immediately try to escape it. You're bored, so you open your phone. You're anxious, so you find something to watch. You're lonely, so you scroll through social media. You're uncomfortable, so you distract yourself. You're sad, so you tell yourself that other people have it worse. You've become incredibly good at functioning. But functioning isn't the same as living. You can answer emails while you're hurting. You can laugh while you're exhausted. You can have conversations while your mind is somewhere else. You can accomplish everything on your to-do list and still feel strangely empty at the end of the day. Because productivity can hide pain, distraction can hide loneliness, and routine can hide the fact that something inside you is asking to be heard. Sometimes an emotion doesn't disappear because you dealt with it. Sometimes it disappears because you buried it. You told yourself, "I'll think about it later." But later became tomorrow. Tomorrow became next week. Next week became months. And eventually, you forgot what you were avoiding, but your body didn't. The tension in your shoulders, the exhaustion you can't explain, the irritation over tiny things, the feeling that you want to be alone but don't want to feel lonely. These can be signs that you've been carrying things you never gave yourself permission to process. You don't always need a dramatic breakdown. Sometimes you simply become quiet inside. And this is where things become confusing. You start wondering, why don't I care anymore? Why doesn't anything excite me? Why do I feel disconnected from everyone? Why do I feel like I'm watching my own life? You may even start blaming yourself. You think you're lazy, unmotivated, cold, unappreciative, or broken. But maybe you're not broken. Maybe you're overwhelmed. Maybe you've been running on emotional autopilot for so long that you forgot what it feels like to stop. Sometimes numbness isn't the absence of emotion. It's what happens when emotion becomes too much for too long. Here's something important. You don't necessarily need to find yourself. You need to listen to yourself. Start with something incredibly simple. Tonight, sit somewhere without your phone. No music, no video, no notifications, just silence. And ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Don't search for the perfect answer. Maybe you're tired. Maybe you're angry. Maybe you're lonely. Maybe you're afraid. Maybe you don't know. And that's okay. Even saying, "I don't know what I feel," is an honest answer. And honesty is where reconnection begins. Sometimes emotions feel like one giant cloud. You don't know what's wrong because everything feels mixed together. So make it smaller. Instead of saying, "I feel terrible," ask yourself, am I disappointed? Am I rejected? Am I overwhelmed? Am I lonely? Am I jealous? Am I afraid? Am I exhausted? Am I grieving something I haven't admitted? The more specific you become, the less mysterious the emotion becomes. You don't have to immediately fix it. You just have to recognize it. Because an emotion doesn't always need a solution. Sometimes it simply needs permission to exist. You don't have to justify every emotion. You don't need a good reason to be tired. You don't need permission to be disappointed. You don't need to prove that your pain is serious enough. Feelings aren't courtroom arguments. You don't have to win a case against yourself. You can simply say, "This is what I'm feeling," and let that be true. You may not be able to control the emotion, but you can choose how you respond to it. That's the difference between being controlled by your feelings and learning to understand them. When you feel disconnected from yourself, start with your senses. Notice the temperature of the room. Notice your breathing. Notice the sounds around you. Notice the weight of your body against the chair. Look outside. Take a slow walk. Eat without looking at a screen. Have a conversation without checking your phone. These things sound insignificant, but they're reminders that you are here. Not in yesterday, not in the conversation you keep replaying, not in the future you're afraid of. Here, right now. And sometimes reconnecting with yourself begins by reconnecting with the moment you're actually living. Maybe part of the confusion is that you've changed. The things you used to want don't matter anymore. The people you once felt close to feel distant. The version of yourself you worked so hard to become doesn't feel like you anymore. That can be frightening. But change isn't always failure. Sometimes an old identity simply stops fitting. You don't have to force yourself to remain who you were. You can outgrow people, goals, habits, beliefs, and even versions of yourself. You are allowed to become someone new. So if you've been feeling strangely empty lately, don't immediately try to fill the emptiness. Sit beside it. Listen to it. Ask what it's trying to tell you. Maybe you're tired of pretending. Maybe you're grieving something. Maybe you've been giving too much. Maybe you've been living according to expectations that aren't yours anymore. Maybe you've spent so much time surviving that you forgot how to feel alive. Whatever the answer is, you don't have to discover it tonight. You just have to start listening. One day, you might wake up and realize that you can feel again. A song will hit differently. A conversation will mean something. The sunlight will feel warm. You'll laugh without forcing it. You'll become excited about something small. You'll cry, and instead of being ashamed of it, you'll understand. And you'll realize something important. You were never empty. You were disconnected. And connection can be rebuilt. Slowly, quietly, one honest moment at a time. So tonight, before you sleep, put the phone down. Take a breath and ask yourself one question. What am I really feeling? Don't judge the answer. Don't fix it. Just listen. Because the person you've been searching for may not be someone you need to become. It may simply be the person inside you that you stopped listening to. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to be honest enough to start asking the questions.